Helen here with Eyes on the Game. I'm here at Las Vegas Sports Network being joined by the one and only, the undefeated Mr. Ben Askren. You are making your UFC debut this weekend, UFC 235 on March 2nd. How do you feel about that?
I'm excited. Obviously, I was semi-retired, so I haven't fought in about 15, 16 months, and I'm excited to get back in the cage and get it on.
Now, you say semi-retired, so how did this whole thing come about? Because I feel for a couple years now that the whole MMA community and fans were kind of saying, will we ever see Ben in the UFC?
Yeah, well, obviously in 2013 when I left Bellator, the whole negotiation between myself and the UFC went south. I spent 4 years at one championship in Asia. It was fantastic. I loved it. And then in November 2017, I said, I'm done unless I get the chance I'm able to prove I'm the best in the world. And that was it, right? And so, a few things kind of popped up a little bit, but then in October, they approached me and they said, what if we traded you? And I said, yeah, okay, can you do it? All right. But that wasn't a thing, right? Who thinks that's a thing? I had some possibilities in my head, but that wasn't one of them. So I got traded for Demetrius, and here I am.
Yeah. So at first, did it feel kind of surreal? Like, has it kind of, sunken in yet?
Well, yeah. I remember the second time I got the call when it was official, and they said, you're traded. And I'm like, come on. I guess when they first said it, I'm like, that's not going to work. Like, that doesn't happen. And I remember I was trying to go to sleep, and they called me and they told me, because obviously, Singapore time is flipped. And I wanted to go to bed early because I got 3 kids. And I was up till like 2 in the morning because I was so excited about, all the possibilities that I could fight.
Now, who called you? Was it Dana?
No. I don't talk to Dana. I got a call from Chatri Sityodtong, who's the CEO at One. Okay. And then obviously they had to finalize everything. And then when I got traded, I was talking to Hunter Campbell.
Okay. But how is your relationship with Dana? And kind of what happened back in 2013 that really didn't allow you to get into the UFC?
I don't have a relationship with him at all.
But I thought he's been retweeting you, right? Or talking about
so. We don't talk, we don't text. So I don't know if you want to call that a relationship. I guess, right? And I don't know why he didn't want me in 2013. You have to ask him that question. I still don't know. I would actually just like to know the answer to that for my own personal well-being. I don't know the answer to that.
But he wants you now, obviously.
Well, money talks.
Speaking of money talks, and this weekend you are fighting against Robbie Lawler, former welterweight champion. What do you think of that matchup? Because stylistically, you guys are kind of opposites.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup for me, but I said I came out of retirement to try to prove I was the best in the world, and that means fighting Robbie or fighting anybody, right? If you're the best in the world, you can beat them all. So I think I have to impose my will on him, use my grappling heavy style, and just shut him down.
How do you, which round? Do you see it going to decision? Do you see yourself submitting him early? Or
I try not to like think too much about the outcome, right? I just think more about the process. What do I have to do? And hey, man, if he gives me an easy choke in the first round, that's fantastic. If I got to grind out all 3, that's fine too.
But with this being your UFC debut, has this fight week felt any different than your other ones?
Not really to this point. Really similar. For me, I'm really into the competition aspect. So for me, it's just about getting as prepared as I can to fight.
But you're really close to Tyron Woodley. You guys kind of have is it brotherhood? Is that safe to say?
Yeah, that's safe to say. When you spend 5 years on a college team with someone, you get really close. You spend every aspect of your life with that person. And then obviously we've continued to remain friends since then. And I've been helping him prepare for a lot of his title fights. And now we get to prepare together for UFC 235.
Did he give you any advice?
He gave me some looks in practice, and obviously in preparation for his Robbie fight, I was studying Robbie also. I was seeing what his tendencies were. And so, I kind of remembered that, although I think like 2 years ago now, maybe a little more than 2 years. I don't recall. But so Tyron would give me looks in practice about, what he thought Robbie was going to throw at me.
And looking at, the UFC, and you said kind of endless possibilities, obviously a title, in the future would be something you would like, right? Even though Woodley has it right now.
Well, I'm not fighting Tyron, so I think I'll probably have the 165-pound title by the end of the year.
165?
Yeah.
You?
Me.
So when is that weight class happen?
I'm looking skinny, aren't
I? You are, yeah.
I'd probably say like October. I don't know, September, October, somewhere in there.
So Tyron's not moving up to middleweight after?
It would be 175 is what he would go to. Because that's obviously you can't leave 170. When you put it 165, you make it 175, 55, 65, 75, 85. It's just so sensible.
Yeah, but when I thought Dana said that wasn't going to happen.
Listen, Dana said women would never fight in the UFC, and you just interviewed Tisha Torres.
I did.
You did. So, listen, I have come to find the harder Dana pushes back on something, the more likely it is to happen. And he's pushing pretty hard back on 165.
So when do you think that would happen?
I think September. I think we're a little ways away still. Who knows? Maybe they didn't announce it at International Fight Week. I don't know. I'm not a sorcerer.
You seem like one right now. On your Twitter, you seem like one.
I'm making predictions based on other people's historical tendencies.
Got it. But speaking of tendencies, I do have to ask as well. On Twitter, you posted that you don't have a photo yet, right? It's your shadow.
I haven't rechecked since then. That was a couple weeks ago. It was Valentine's Day because I think they gave me a picture on Valentine's Day, but it was the wrong picture. So, and then they didn't have a picture on one of the other pages. So, you know what? I haven't even been back and rechecked. I should check that.
And then looking at Tyron, though, would you kind of say that your guys' friendship is kind of like Kane and DC's?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't spent a lot of time around Kane and DC, so obviously they appear very close. I would venture to guess either that close or closer. I mean, we started being friends when I was 17. I mean, that's way back. DC and Kane didn't start being friends till they were 30. And there's just something about being on like a college team together. And you think you probably think of your high school friends or something like those are just your friends. Just like you're so tight with them, you couldn't really imagine being that tight with anybody else.
But what is it about him that made you guys just click? I mean, aside from the wrestling.
Well, I don't want to say like. He's not special, but man, I feel like I got about 20 guys that I'm tight with on my college team. I mean, like literally that I talk to a couple times a month at least. So there was just something about that team that him and I were both on. That then there was a great article about it on ESPN.com this week. Man, we were just a really close bunch of guys. We cared about each other. We did everything together, and we just created this bond that's now it's lasted. Obviously, I graduated 12 years ago, so it's lasted a long time.
Hey, loyalty and good friendships. And what do you think about him getting into rap?
That's his thing. It's like I hope he has success at it. It's like he doesn't care about my disc golf, right? And
Are you really good at it?
I was second at the amateur nationals and top 10 in the amateur worlds twice. So yeah, but it's just like, hey, he's got hobbies. I'm not gonna meet everyone his hobbies. I got hobbies. But that song, I'll Beat Your Ass. First time I heard it, I didn't really love it, but now, he keeps playing it, and I was caught myself singing along to it when we were working out last night. It's really catchy.
You put it on repeat.
Well, he did. I mean, it wasn't like on repeat. There was like, he probably had a playlist. I don't know, 5 songs or something. And I found myself singing along to it. Like the first time I was like, I don't know about this, but now it's like, I think it's really catchy.
But if he ever releases an album or when he does, he is. Are you on it? Is it featuring?
I am not a feature on Tyron's album. I have no rap skills.
Okay. And then last thing about Tyron, how do you see his fight against Usman playing out?
Oh, I think it's really easy. I don't think Marty has anything to offer Tyron. I think Tyron's just too good of a striker and too good of a wrestler to fall victim to anything that he's going to do.
And what would you like to say to all the funky fans?
I actually have something exciting. I have an exciting documentary coming out on Friday on flowwrestling.com. And they've been following me for a decade plus, and I saw some of the trailers, and I'm really excited about it.